Every modern battlefield is drawn before it is fought, not in words, but in symbols. If you don't know how to read them, you're already behind. This is NATO symbology, and this channel teaches you how to think like a commander. Alright, let's get a foundation going first. Here are your typical symbols that you will see on a true military map. So you have blue, which is all friendly units. You have yellow, which is unknown. You have green, which is neutral. You have red, which is known enemy. The top row shows land symbols, while the middle shows air symbols, and the bottom shows subsurface symbols. This system can get very technical and complex, so I've limited it to what I will be using in future videos. Here is the standard friendly land unit. This will be the template moving forward. This is the classic infantry symbol used across all periods of warfare to identify foot troops. Using small indicators, you can show what type of foot troop it is. This is a light infantry. Here is another example for militia. Can you follow along with what is happening and who is involved?
Next, we'll talk about cavalry. To indicate mounted troops, these can also have smaller indicators just like the infantry ones. The archer symbol, this is what I prefer to use. This is a custom symbol to identify archer foot troops. For artillery, a symbol that literally uses a cannonball as its icon. And here for the headquarters, we have a few methods to show as an easy indicator of leadership, where the rectangles might show a general area of headquarters support functions and the command as a unit. The flag can point out the actual entities as they move around with titles and labels to identify them. Alright, here is another pop quiz, if you will. Can you follow along and make sense of this more diverse chaos? Do you know what's happening? Do you know who it's happening to? Okay, let's talk about some more modern icons. So this is for armor. This is a symbol of units like tanks or infantry fighting vehicles. Its icon looks like a set of vehicle tracks when viewed from the side. The next one is mechanized infantry, a classic symbol of regular foot infantry over the modern one of armor. This shows that it is an infantry unit that is mobilized within its own durable fighting transportation. Next is armored recon or armored cavalry or armored scouts. This is another symbol, classic symbol, combined with a more modern one. This shows smaller units that are designed not to be a hammer, but you get close, gather intel, or maybe a economy of force, a light, capable, armored up unit. Next, this is the air symbol for a fighter or a bomber. This is for rotary air units. And a full circle is a surface ship. This one is designated as a destroyer. Lastly, this is a submarine. Alright, another pop quiz. What's going on in this theater? Who are the actors, the stakeholders, and the influencers? This is where things get a little more complicated. These symbols further identify the unit, capabilities, specialties, and the operational health bar, if you will. Alright, so another example of an infantry unit with special symbols. So we have an assault infantry unit, that's a mountain specialist. Next, we have a combat unit with medium capabilities with the designator 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines. I've used Marines in this example. Green means fully capable. Here we have a flag that donates the country, and the plus sign, which means reinforced. So that could be an extra company, that could be extra assets not normally organic to it. Yellow means damage reduced, and then the minus is if they've lost a company was pulled out, and they're no longer at full capacity. Red is destroyed or rendered inoperationally ineffective. So here's some more examples. We have yellow, unknown, 4 infantry units with medium capabilities, but they're at full capability, given that their green bar is positive, it's green, but they're from Spain. We have 2 green neutral special forces from Spain who are also reinforced, and then we have a enemy mechanized infantry. Some good examples for you. All right, let's apply what we went over. Here is a simple contested bridge. Who are the actors involved? What is the operational result and unit conditions post-engagement? Alright, using the same unit, we will go over scaling the unit, or showing the size or footprint. As a quick review, a squad is roughly 9 to 12 people. So here's a squad. 3 to 4 squads get you a platoon. 2 dots is a section and usually used for units like mortars, batteries, or platoons chopped up into irregular squads. Alright, 3 to 4 platoons get you a company. 3 to 4 companies get you a battalion. 3 to 4 battalions get you a regiment. This is a Marine Corps regiment. An Army brigade, this is functionally the same as a Marine Corps regiment, but the symbol stays true to a traditional unit lineage or the historical flavor of older maps. And lastly is 3 to 4 regiments get you a Marine division, which is a 1-star general officer in command. Now let's stop looking at the trees and let's look at the forest. We have a Marine division in the East Coast of the United States, one of the regiments near it. There's a battalion in the Middle East. There's a battalion in Djibouti. There's a company in the Philippines. And the regiment divides and mobilized all 3 battalions and pushed them out. Before we started, these symbols might as well have been just noise, just shapes on a map. Now you can read the battlefield. Can you see who's moving? Who's the threat? Who's neutral? Air, sea, another nation entirely? That's the difference between looking and understanding. This has been Keith's Orders of Battle.